It's carried, Mace. Well done indeed. We're moving to the adoption of the annual plan. I'll move it. The Deputy Mayor will second this. Mike Ross and your team and our friends from Legal, come to the front, please.
Thank you, Chair. So today we're seeking approval to adopt the annual plan 26-27, enabling the setting of rates and delivery of agreed services investments for the financial year beginning 1 July, which is tomorrow. So the annual plan attached to this report reflects the decisions made on the 26th of May, meets statutory and disclosure requirements, incorporates local board agreements and required content, and has undergone legal and governance review. Draft documents of the document were provided for a final drop-in session to elected members last week. Thank you for those that attended. Minor technical and editorial corrections identified will be addressed before publication. Adoption today is necessary to meet the statutory deadline of 30 June and to enable the Council to set rates and deliver planned services and investments for 26-27. We're happy to take questions.
I've got none. I think we've beat this one to death anyhow, so you can move back and I'll have any further debate if anyone's got some. On that basis, I'm going to move it. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary? Aye. Okay, recording. Hands up, who wants the name recorded? Okay, thank you very much for that. That's accepted. We've got time to move to the rate setting, which is the next bit. The last bit was just to enable us to do that. Welcome, Mr. Duncan. We're relying on the advice we receive from you. I'll move this. Councillor Sayers, will you second this as a role as the Budget Committee chairs? Councillor Sayers. Thank you. That's an interesting little headline that went up lately. You get that up? Just to put this into perspective, the Infometrics just recently published a level of different rates, affordability. And I think if you pop this up, you'll be quite surprised to know. A moment here.
All right, I'm just going to do it off this one.
You might find that quite interesting, really. Affordability by city. Goes down the page a bit more than that. I know. We actually look quite good, despite what you might have read from the Auckland Ratepayers Alliance. We're the lowest of all those. So there we go. So don't feel too bad about setting rates. Okay. Off you go there, Councillor, or rather, Mr. Duncan.
Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce Eric Wen from my team, who does the actual detailed cents on the dollar calculations. This report recommends you formally set the rates for the 26-27 year that you've adopted in the funding impact statement in the annual plan that you just agreed to on the previous item in the agenda. Legislation requires that the rates be formally set in this manner.
Right. Thank you. There's been a lot of work done there, and there's a lot of very small numbers there. And I have to say that I understand that you've reviewed this very carefully because, for instance, the rural moderate occupier online accommodation provider at 0.00378385, I have to accept that that's right because it could have been 0.00378384, but I don't know. And so I am accepting your figures here. And so very well done. I don't do anything with my own businesses quite so accurately, but it's impressive. And so we are accepting these figures. And so do I have any, I've got no questions, obviously we're all accepting these, because they are a net result of hours and hours of debate over many parts of it. We did also note earlier today that we will set the heart of the city target rate, but we may or may not pay it out until items. But if we don't set it, we're actually penalising all those businesses dreadfully for the next year. So I think it would be most unwise to oppose that. I do have a question here from Councillor Sayers.
Thank you, through you, Worship. Just a question around the discount for early payment. It's got a figure in there. I couldn't quite work it out. It says 0.84. I didn't know if that meant that there was like a significant discount, or was it just a small discount? So if somebody, my understanding, not many councils in New Zealand offer such a service anymore, where if you pay all your rates a year in advance, plus any penalties you might have, you get some sort of discount. Could you just confirm what level of discount that is?
So the level of discount reflects the saving that the council will make from receiving that money early. It's based on the council's short-term borrowing cost, and so we're getting some of the payment around the first, getting all the payment at the first instalment, and we're getting the other 3 instalments a bit earlier. We make a saving based on our short-term cost of borrowing, and that's how the figure is calculated.
So as a percentage, is somebody saving 10% on their rate bills, 1% of their rate bill when they do that? Do they actually make a saving themselves out of in their rates, the amount that they pay? They're just paying the whole lot. And is the organisation that's making the saving? I don't quite understand kind of the incentive for somebody to pay early.
It's a small incentive, reflecting how much money the council will save by receiving that money earlier and not having to borrow the cash instead.
So would that be under 5%, Andrew?
Well, Eric, what's the figure this year?
It's 0.84%. So it's the 0.84% of the total rates bill. If they pay early, so if they pay the full amount, the annual amount, on or before the 30th or 31st of August, then they're going to say 0.84% of the total rates bill. Yeah, because our short-term borrowing rate per year is 2.25, so that's not that high.
Thank you. I didn't appreciate that as a percentage. I thought there was a calculation you applied to the figure. Yeah, okay, thank you for that.
Councillor Ferry.
Oh, kia ora. Thanks for putting that graph up, Mayor. That's from Wellington City Council's rates affordability research that they did, which I sent through to your office a little while ago. And I'm really keen that we potentially do some similar work in the Auckland context. Is that something that the rates team can perhaps help with, Andrew, to turn that into a question?
Yes, we do that every year internally in case we get asked for it. And our calculations are slightly different in terms of the statistics that we use compared to Infometrics. We have reported to you on this previously.
Yep.
I think we got 3.46% as the rates on the median value property for the median household income for homeowners for the 25-26 year. And so that's comparative.
Yep.
For this year, we've calculated it to be 3.58%, which is a small 3% movement, which could be due to
Thank
various
you.
data movements.
Yeah, one of the other things that report goes into in a bit more detail is also for business as well, and looks at things like median incomes and for the bottom 10% of income earners and stuff like that. Would be great if we could get some kind of comparable paper through the LTP process. So I'll just leave that there. Thank you.
Councillor Gillen, please.
Oh, thanks. Just a little one. I just wanted to confirm. So the Waitakere rural sewage targeted rate that we consulted on ending, the proposal is actually that we end at the end of the next financial year, isn't it? I was just wondering if that's correct, that in the wording of the resolution, we actually just note that this is the final year, because it doesn't mention that at all.
Sorry, yeah, there's no change to the target rate in 26-27 financial year. It's continuing, and it is ending. So the decision was made on the 26th of May by the GB to end it from 1 July 2027. So that's why it's not mentioned here.
Because this is just the rate setting for this year. The annual plan document in the Your Rates section, I think it notes in that section that we are ending the rate the following year.
Yep.
Just trying to find the right bit.
I guess just a suggestion then for the mayor in the clause to just end it with noting that this is the final year, or noting that it will end on the 1st July 2027. Would there be any issue with that?
Someone's just checking with the legal team.
I think there's a bit of checking going on here. Perhaps, Mayor, you might go to the next speaker and we'll come back to Councillor Gillen's question.
Obviously, it was a very good question, Councillor Dillon. We'll move to Councillor Henderson. We'll come back for your answer in a moment.
Yeah, thanks. Depending on the answer, you might need to come back to me too as Waitakere Ward Councillor, so I'll just flag that as a bookmark. But I had other questions. Two quick ones. So just looking through the proposed bid rates, just a quick technical question. Some bids have a fixed rating per unit, but most of them don't. Why is that? What's the difference?
This is a choice by the bid committees and the bid programs. So if they decide to do that, then we just set the rate on that basis.
That's really cool. Thank you. I didn't know that. One of my particular bugbears of mine around here is frequency of payments for rates. So can I just check, when someone starts paying rates for the first time, what is the default setting on how often they pay it? Is it annually or quarterly or?
It's quarterly is the standard. There's an invoice goes out every quarter, and ratepayers can choose to pay more regularly with our direct debit scheme and other schemes with our rates team.
Hey, thanks for that. You may or may not have to come back to me on Waitakere, depending on where we get to with it. But that aside, I won't speak in the item, but just to say, look, we should be always advertising that we can up that frequency to fortnightly or monthly, because it just helps people budget. And I think in future years that should be the default rather than something that we advertise as people doing, but it's just a bit of feedback. We might need to talk about it at the LTP. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for indulging me. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Are we able to answer Councillor Gillen yet or not? Shall I go to Councillor Lee? I'll go to Councillor Lee and we'll just hold Councillor Gillen's answer. So Councillor Lee, your question, please.
Thank you. There was brief discussion about comparative affordability and Auckland not being so bad after all, but if I heard it correctly, in assessing Auckland's rates and the impact on ratepayers, on Auckland ratepayers, are you including water care, water and wastewater charges in that?
Yes, we do that.
Thank you.
Councillor Gillen's question, please. Can I have the answer to that?
Look, I've just clarified, we can absolutely do that by way of, adding some words that have the effect of clarifying it's only for this year, and Katie's just making sure that the resolution's nice and tight given the criticality of this rate setting resolution. Yeah, so it'll be up here very shortly.
Councillor Sanderson would like to have a supplementary question.
Thank you. I was expecting that. So if we were to make that change, have we formally resolved to make it the last year, or is that just a practice? I just wanted to double check. I know we're expecting it to be the last year, but have we at this table made that decision yet?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, then
Yes, that
welcome
was
home.
made as part of the decision making on the 26th of May.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks for that. Cheers, guys. That works for me.
Right, we're waiting with bated breath for this. And then after that, I'm going to make an adjournment for lunch until 1:30. So it allows you to walk downstairs and go and buy a sandwich. And as a result of our new levels of impecunity, coming up.
Yeah, they're just cutting and pasting.
Coming.
It just notes that from the middle of 2027 that won't apply any longer. That's
What word?
this septic tank cleaning thing. It's a bit, there's no, you're fine with it. It's all good.
Okay, so we've pointed out that the Waitakere rural sewage targeted rate will end from 1 July 2027. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. As the mover and the seconder are quite happy to accept that.
Is that a question?
Have you got another one to go? No. Okay, thank you for that.
Councillor Watson.
Councillor Watson has a question.
In respect of the late payment penalties, and I know the comment is made there that the late payment of rates must inevitably be met by those ratepayers that pay on time. Is there a little give and take allowing for processing, or is it 12 o'clock, 31st of August, for 10% goes out? I'm assuming there's a little leeway of a couple of days. Is that correct?
So it does go on at that date, but our team, I understand, will work with ratepayers, and
We'll work with ratepayers. Yes, to be reasonable.
yes,
Okay, thank you.
not necessarily about the exact date it goes on, but if they put arrangements in to make payments, it's the remissions of rates penalties, right? Yeah, so there's some provision to remit penalties if arrangements are put in place to pay the rates.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad to hear that. I guess I'm just checking if it's not that exact second Iron Curtain comes down, I am assuming there is no cost to council in real terms, given the amount of payments that must come in round about that time, if for any circumstances.
One of our colleagues has just advised that it's 3 days post the instalment due date. So there's definitely a little bit of room.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I've got no questions. You guys can retire, and if there's any further debate, if there's not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour of aye. Please say aye. The contrary, carried. Righto, we've set the rates. Thanks very much. At 1:30, we're reconvening for us to consider the draft statement of expectations of water care services. Thank you very much. I'll see you at 1:30.